Yes, we're live. We're back. It is Sunday. Finally, the weeks have been starting to absolutely fly by. But guess what? It's here. It's Sunday. Watching rosters live. I am Cody Carpentier. You can find me on Twitter at Cody Carpentier. New handle on the old X. So we're live, and it's going to be a good Sunday of football. The Cowboys and Panthers game is going to be a noon game, and a lot of the consensus would tell you that the Cowboys are probably going to blitz the Panthers today, which I'm in line for. I do think Tony Pollard, though, on one hand, is going to have his best game of the season in this matchup. I don't think they're going to be airing the ball out and winning 49-10 by any means. If you do look at the money and the bets, a lot of the bets are on the Cowboys, but a lot of the money is on the Panthers. That would tell you that most of the sharps are, in fact, in on the Panthers covering 10.5 points at home. So that should be a good game. We also have a battle of the 6-3 AFC North teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. That'll be a fun one. The Bears and Lions. The Bears are what started as 10-point dogs, the move to about 7.5, 8. Bears, can they upset the Detroit Lions in Detroit? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Chargers, Packers. Is this the game Quentin Johnston gets his opportunity? No Palmer, no Williams. Guyton banged up. Is Quentin Johnston going to get 7, 8, 9 targets? Jair Alexander, of course, is banged up in this defense for the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 3-6, and the Chargers need this one bad if they're going to stay in contention. And possibly, for me, the game of the noon slate belongs to the Cardinals and the Houston Texans. And if you would have told me this just a mere 6 months ago, I would have told you, shut your mouth. I am not watching Colt McCoy and Davis Mills, or Colt McCoy and CJ Stroud. I'm not going to watch that football game. And now it's 5-4 Houston Texans battling for the AFC South, and the Cardinals, who just got Kyler Murray back, looking like a different football team. Titans, Jags, Raiders, Dolphins, and Giants, Commanders close out the 1 p.m. slate, and then we have a pretty miserable 4 o'clock slate. But we're here, we're live, we're talking about starts and sits on Watching Rosters. I'm Cody Carpentier, like I said before. Drop your questions in the chat if you have them. We'll get to those. We will not miss any questions, and if we do get to the end and you don't have a question that's answered, please go to RosterWatch.com and drop your question in the comments, and I will get to that thing before kickoff happens. And if I don't, it'll be Trashman, Byron, or Alex that will get those things done. Reminder, we are live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays as well, with top 10 thoughts on Mondays and the waiver wire show on Tuesdays with Alex and the Trashman. Let's get into it. Matt Cassidy, our main man, he's in here every single week. Good morning, Cody, my man. Good morning, RosterWatch Nation. Good morning to you, Matt Cassidy, as well. Let's talk about getting another W this week, flying high like the Eagles. It's going to be talk about good matchups, man. Eagles, Chiefs, Monday Night Football, the battle to see who is the king in the NFL right now. Bold move paid off last week. Bench Devontae for Tank Dell, paid off immensely. Would you play Tyler Lockett over the likes of Tank Dell, Devontae Adams, or Mike Evans? Right now, I have Lockett benched. I would not play Lockett. It's a question whether he will play this week. He hasn't practiced all week with a hamstring injury. I think he's going to be a game-time decision, as what we've seen so far. And for those reasons, I think I would just go towards the guys that I can believe and trust in on a weekly basis. Full PPR play, 1 in the flex. Puka Nacua, Devontae Smith, JSN, or Kincaid. You get to play 1 in the flex. If I get to play 1 in the flex, I think I'm going to lean towards Devonta Smith. Honestly, with Kincaid as a close number 2. I just don't love the Puka situation. I think this matchup is good for the Los Angeles Rams offense, but I don't love it coming out of the bye. I think Stafford's going to want to hit Kupp early and often. Great question, though, Matt Cassidy. I'm rolling with Devonta. With Kincaid, like I said, is a close second. B. Ollie, Big Ollie, maybe Big Ollie, or Bob Ollie. I don't know, but it's B. Ollie. He says Ford or Warren, PPR at the running back position. It's actually interesting. I was just looking at these this morning, answering some questions over at RosterWatch.com, and I came across a similar question to this. I think it featured a couple other guys like Chandler and maybe like Foreman or something like this. And quite frankly, I have Warren ahead. Warren, we saw him get those starting announcements last week. He ran out with the starters, and Tomlin's starting to come around on him. Tomlin was always the linchpin to this backfield. Tomlin is always what held Najee in high regard. When I went to those training camps back in August, I asked a bunch of different sideline reporters. I said, what's the deal with this backfield? Is this going to be a split, or is this Najee's backfield? Because Najee looks great, but Warren, of course, is Jalen Warren. And they're like, dude, We all love Warren. Everybody loves Warren except for him. And he points over at Mike Tomlin and he goes, Tomlin's he's the cat. He's the one that calls. And Najee being that first round pick, Najee being Najee, he's really good, but he just hasn't been efficient behind this offensive line. So Warren's starting to get more and more reps and more work. He's been very efficient with it. I think you're only going to continue to see that. Now, again, we're talking about running back 23 and 26 on the week. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. But I'm going Warren over Ford. B. Ali also says, we going Trevor Lawrence or are we going Josh Dobbs today? I think this is a very good question. I had these guys nearly back to back. Dobbs coming in at quarterback 13, however, with Trevor Lawrence playing against the Tennessee Titans. Lawrence should bounce back against the Titans this week. No Zay Jones, but he does have Travis Etienne, Ingram, and potentially Ridley playing a little bit better with Christian Kirk. We'll see what happens there. But Josh Dobbs, you got to roll with the trust there with Dobbs. Dobbs does have Addison. He has Hawkinson. He's going to have Chandler, and it looks like he's going to have Madison in this game against Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are starting to get after the quarterback. Nick Bonito talked about him top 10 thoughts a couple weeks ago. This Denver defense is going to get after the quarterback, which is going to cause Josh Dobbs to run the football. I think the prop this week is 30.5, so I like that as well as starting him. Gooner Boy, good morning, brother. How are we doing? Hope you all are well. Gooner says, I just lost Joe Burrow and Mark. Oh, brother. Moment of silence for Gooner Boy squad. All right. Same team in which I lost Dobbins week 1. Jeez. Then proceeded to lose my opportunity to trade Warren for Laporta. Awful feelings today. My options are to stream Musgrave and Pitts rest of season based off of what's on waivers. Any thoughts? You can get Musgrave. Go get him. Like you can get Musgrave or Pitts. Like I would 100% go ahead and go get Luke Musgrave in that situation. I think Pitts is obviously in Pitts' situation, but agreed with Snowman here. He said took brutal hits. I would go get Luke Musgrave if I was you, Gooner Boy. Tom Bloom, welcome to the chat. We appreciate you for tapping in here this morning. Second place team, congratulations on that. 12-team PPR. Starting running backs are Kamara and Madison. Would you trade Tyreek and Chuba Hubbard for Lamb and Aaron Jones? I would. I would. I think Lamb and Tyreek are pretty similar. Tyreek, of course, exposes a higher ceiling, it feels like, at certain points. But Lamb, of course, the last 3 weeks, 10 for 150, has been a consistent boom. And he's pretty clearly the number one in this offense. And he can do it even with another dude going off like Brandon Cooks last week. I know that wasn't a different matchup, but I think I lean Lamb and Aaron Jones just because I know Aaron Jones is going to continue to get healthy, and you're kind of getting a buy low on Aaron Jones, whereas Hubbard is in a bad offense and Sanders is getting healthier. And quite frankly, he gives you no upside. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones because even if you just get rid of Hubbard and you're just like Tyreek, I give away Tyreek and I get Lamb and Aaron Jones, I would have done that. Sorry, I phrased that wrong. Even if you, whatever, you get the fucking point. The point is that Hubbard doesn't really matter to me. I would be okay in the inverse or whatever. So I love Lamb and Aaron Jones here. Tyreek has a rough schedule after this week. Jets held him to like 20 combined points. That's okay. I get the deal. I would 100% go Lamb and Aaron Jones because you're getting Jones for pennies. And I think that there's potential for him to grow. And I know he's not in a good offense either, but he's also a heavy pass catcher, and they need something in Green Bay. So I think Aaron Jones is the move as well. I have the most points in my league back to the same question. Snowman says Pacheco or Godwin. I love both Pacheco and Godwin this week. So this is kind of a tough question for me. Let's see where I have Pacheco on the week at the running back position. Let's see here. He's got a tough matchup against Philly, which kind of, I guess, would negate me. I have Godwin way higher than everybody else at RosterWatch. So Godwin's probably going to be my push here. Let me check the flex. Godwin by like 12.5 spots. I got Godwin wide receiver 23 this week. Trashman and Alex have him 30-32. I like the matchup in San Francisco. It's a 16th matchup on the RosterWatch matchup tool, whereas I think Mike Evans is going to see a lot of Charvarius Ward. I think Chris Godwin's going to be kind of a beneficiary to that game. So I'm going to go Chris Godwin here over Pacheco. Even though I do love Pacheco, I think the rest of the season, the schedule is only going to continue to get easier for Isaiah Pacheco. So hold on to that, trust it, believe it. But I think for this week, you got to play Godwin there, Snowman. Gooner Boy says pick 2. Are we going Puka? Pick 2 Puka. DJ Moore or James Conner? So I think you have to play James Conner. Again, he's back in this offense. It's a good matchup. I got him as a top 10 option this week. I think he's right in that ballpark of the Montgomerys, the Halls. When he's in this backfield, it's his backfield. So first and foremost, playing James Conner because you know the workload and the touches that do come with that. Secondly, you're talking about Puka Nacua against DJ Moore. I'm going DJ Moore. I have him as a top 20 option this week, whereas Puka's just a titch behind. The matchup's juicy for both guys, and I think the Chicago-Detroit game with Fields back is going to expose an ability to have a shootout. So I'm going to go DJ Moore here against Detroit Lions. So I'm going to go DJ Moore and James Conner, benching Puka Nacua. Snowman has a flex question here. He says, Michael Wilson, Kareem Hunt, Antonio Gibson, or Michael Mayer. So firstly, I think Michael Wilson is going to be inactive in this one. Gibson's going to be inactive in this one. So we're talking about Michael Mayer or Kareem Hunt, and I don't love the Cleveland Cleveland running matchup this week against Pittsburgh. So I'm going to lean towards Michael Mayer, especially with premium. This is the thing is like I like Hunt, but I don't love the situation, especially for like Jerome Ford as well. So I don't love Hunt for that same reason. I think Wilson's inactive. And then Gibson, of course, is going to be inactive with a toe. He didn't practice all week. The reason I bring up Wilson is because they activated Andre Basellia yesterday during our SiriusXM show, and that was our initial thought was like it was correlated with Wilson missing some practice on Friday. So I think that your only option here is going to end up being Michael Mayer, Snowman. So good question. Appreciate you jumping in here. Gooner Boy says Hollywood Brown or Rashad White, and I'm going to say, and my best Gus Johnson ability, Hollywood is gone. That's what I think is going to happen. I think this is a Hollywood game. It has Hollywood written all over it for the Arizona Cardinals against Houston this week. So tap in Hollywood Brown. There we go. Specialist 90 says, would you start Hurts or Stroud, brother? This is tough. Hurts is a tough matchup against Kansas City, but it is Kansas City. It is Monday Night Football. It is going to be a big game. But Stroud is a top 5 option with a top 5 matchup. Stroud's my number 1 quarterback this week. You can go check the rankings. I'm the only one. I got Stroud number 1 this week. Alex has Tua number 1 this week. Trashman has Patrick Mahomes number 1 this week. I'm going CJ Stroud, brother. I got CJ Stroud as my number 1 quarterback this week. QB1, ahead of Mahomes, ahead of Hurts, ahead of Lamar. You name it, he's there. Great question from the specialist coming in here from the top rope. Saquon or Josh Jacobs in PPR? I've had to bench Saquon this week in my FFPC league. I think I'm starting Pollard and Etienne at running back, and then I could actually pull up the squad here, but I think it's like Hollywood Brown, Tank Dell. Let me pull it up here. It's right here. Hollywood Brown, Tank Dell. These are guys I'm starting over Saquon Barkley. Hollywood Brown, Tank Dell, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel. Running backs are Pollard and Etienne. I'm benching Saquon Barkley. I'm benching Mike Evans. So the team's obviously loaded. It's sitting pretty, but I'm benching Saquon. And to couple with that is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, who's my number 5 running back this week. So I'm going Josh Jacobs. Hammer Don, JB. Gooner Boy, Warren or Deontay or Godwin, half PPR. I think with half, that does put Warren into the conversation. But even so, I talked about loving Chris Godwin this week. I also like Deontay Johnson. That's one of the only guys that I trust in this entire matchup. I know they do have kind of a difficult situation with this Cleveland back end. But I do think that the one person that does hurt is going to be George Pickens, because I think George Pickens is susceptible to getting beat by Denzel and Greg Newsome. So I'm going to go Deontay Johnson here. Again, you always have to worry about injury, but when the guy's healthy, you kind of got to trust the guy. So let me look here. So I have Deontay. Oh, this is sorted. I was going to say, I thought I had Godwin ahead of him. I have Godwin. So I thought I had Deontay because this thing's sorted. I think Alex must be in here. I'm going Godwin. All right. That's how that goes. Good question, Gunnar. You almost caught me You almost caught me lacking. Steven Zicolela. I need 2 of 3 here. Half PPR. Ken Walker, Javonte, or Mostert. and you need 2 of 3. So we have to bench 1. We're benching Javonte Williams this week. I love Ken Walker. People be fading Ken Walker. He's been a top 10 option last week, and I think he's going to continue to get opportunities. People thinking Charbonnet is just going to take over in this backfield are missing. And Raheem Mostert, I know Devon Achane's back this week, but Mostert's done a great job getting into the end zone and scoring on a weekly basis. And I think this matchup against Las Vegas, I'm not saying they're going to score 70, but if Miami was to ever bounce back and score 70, this would be the game to bounce back and score 70 in. I don't think they're going to do it because I think this pass rush for Vegas is going to slow them down a little bit, but I do think there's opportunity for both these running backs to score a lot of points. So fading Javonte this week. Steven, great question. Metrius Lloyd, welcome to the chat. Wide receiver and flex. He has to choose between Achane, Najee Harris, Kareem Hunt, Jordan Addison, and I'm assuming DJ Moore. Wide receiver and flex. I'm assuming you get one of each. So we need a wide receiver for sure. So that means we're picking between Addison and Moore. And for those reasons, I'm going Addison 100%. And then the flex, we get Moore, Hunt, Harris, or Achane. I'm not playing Hunt. I'm not playing Harris. So for me, it's between Achane and Moore. And I'm going to go ahead and play Devon Achane for the exact reason I just talked about with Raheem Mostert. I love the matchup this week against Raiders. And my question yesterday was on the Sirius show, I said, Alex, he hasn't been activated yet. And everything we've heard from McDaniels is questioning his ability and opportunity. And I'm like, dog, what are we going to do here? And they activated him. And when they activate a guy and they're going to play a guy and put the pads on, you got to trust and believe in just that. So when they put Achane in pads, Achane is going to get opportunities. So we're going Achane and Addison. Great question, Demetrius. Appreciate you. Gooner Boys roster is fucked. He's playing Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Kenny Pickett. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is my quarterback 26 this week, and Kenny Pickett's my quarterback 27. Reminder that there is 28 teams playing. So I'm gonna go Dorian Thompson-Robinson for the rushing. Gooner Boy, I if there's any other starter outside of Tommy DeVito available, I would go that at Avenue. But I'm assuming since you're asking this question, you have 2 quarterbacks, that's not an option. But I appreciate the question, Gooner Boy. Best of luck. I hope DTR scores 10 to 12 for you, and you can skate by. As always, appreciate you. Snowman sees the fade, the fresh Friday fade that I got this past week. You got to get ready for Thanksgiving, brother. I'm going back to Minnesota this next week, so I got to get that thing cut up. Barbers closed on Monday, fly out on Tuesday. You know what it is. Appreciate you, Snowman. JB, would you start Tank Dizzy over Keenan Allen this week? No, I would not. I have Keenan Allen number 7 overall. Again, the thing is, like, we love Tank Dell. We think Tank Dell's the alpha in this offense. Good matchup this week against Arizona. But the thing with Keenan Allen is as everybody falls around him, that's just another target for him. Another target. No Gerald Everett, cool. No Josh Palmer, cool. No Mike Evans, cool. No Jalen Guyton, maybe, cool. Quentin Johnston's just the number 2 option. And we're talking about Quentin Johnston getting more targets. What about Keenan Allen? Like, how many times have we seen the vintage Keenan Allen all of a sudden 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 targets? Like, this is something that you can continually bet on, and they're in a game that they have to win. So I'm not fading Keenan Allen this week, even for the dazzling Tank Dell. Adrian says, pick 2 between Hall, Jacobs, and Henry. Here it is. This is the question I've been waiting for all week. I knew that people were going to be in this situation where they had to bench Henry in fantasy. Again, his prop this week is like in the 50s. I think it's like 52 rushing yards, something like this. Hall and Jacobs, much better situations this week. I got Josh Jacobs as a number 5 option this week at the running back position. I think Hall is also a top 10. I have him number 9. So I got Henry just outside the top 10. And I think that you just, in this situation specifically, you got to roll with Hall and Jacobs because Jacobs has been more of a feature and mainstay in this offense the last couple of weeks under the new staff. Henry, this offensive line in Tennessee is fucking terrible. And that's just, you just really can't do much about that. So I'm going to roll with Jacobs and Hall. Steven Zicolella. That's a great name. I cannot say it. I wish I could. He says, Trey McBride or Chris Godwin. Thank you. half PPR. Okay, so I was just about to say if it's premium, I would go McBride, I think. But especially since it's half, I think I'm going to go Godwin 100%. So good question, Steven. I'm going to go Chris Godwin here. Love the Trey McBride situation. I also think the Michael Wilson injury is going to allow McBride to get more targets, but I just love Chris Godwin playing opposite of Mike Evans today against San Francisco. I think they're going to need to throw the ball often. Charlie Emmert, pick one for flex. Rondale Roschon or Kenny Podfather Gainwell. Rondale Roschon or Kenny Gainwell. I think Rondale is the option. I love Roschon, but again, we're getting Herbert back today. Deontay Foreman is going to be in this backfield. I think this whole backfield is going to be putrid. And honestly, it is susceptible to a Roschon game against Detroit because it's a game where you could definitely see them passing the ball more than not. And I think with Herbert back in this offense, with Deontay Foreman not being the biggest pass catcher, well, Roschon could excel, but I'm not going to bet on that. Kenny Gainwell, his opportunities they've been apropos all season next to Swift, but they just haven't been scoring, right? He had a touchdown a couple weeks ago, but that was about it. Rondale Moore, we talked about it with Trey McBride. We talked about it with Hollywood Brown. Big game this week against Houston. He gets carries out of the backfield, and he's been heavily targeted despite not having a big boom week. I do think Rondale is a top 40 option this week, so I'm going to go Rondale Moore. Great question, Charlie. I appreciate you guys tapping in here. We've been here live for about 20 minutes. We're going to stay live for about 20, 30, 40 more minutes. We'll see how long it takes me to get through all these questions. But I do want to remind you to please click that like button. It's free. And click subscribe. It's free to tap in because we will have more content. We'll do these start sits every single Sunday. On Mondays, we do the Top 10 Thoughts show. And on Tuesdays, we got the Waiver Wire live with Alex and the Trash Man. And then also, you guys know what time it is. College football is ending. The draft season is upon us. And since I'm here at RosterWatch, there's going to be more streams and more content based on the NFL draft. And I'm going to be pulling Alex onto the shows. We're going to be doing more shows. We're going to be talking more draft. We're going to be talking more prospects, more dynasty. It's going to be more and more fun over the course of the next 6 months. So appreciate you guys for tapping in here. Next question is from Chad Doomlau. Doomlau? Good. I think I got that one. I need Javonte Williams, Devin Singletary, or Brian Robinson at the running back position this week. You know exactly where I'm going to go right here. We talked about him. I talked about it on Top 10 Thoughts. My question was to myself, is Devin Singletary the league winner this year? These guys that come out of nowhere and all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit, that guy just dropped 30 points and now the opportunity is just in his hands. The question I had was with Dameon Pierce was what was taking so long. He came out just a month ago and said, it's like a second rookie season for me. It's been difficult to pick up this offense. And then, of course, Singletary gets that opportunity with Dameon Pierce hurt. 31 touches, 150 yards, scores a touchdown. Career highs across the board for Devin Singletary. I'm playing Devin Singletary. No Dameon Pierce today. And I think this is, like we just talked about, the big matchup with Arizona. I think Singletary doubles down. I'm not sure he goes for 150, but I think you do look at Singletary getting north of 20, 25 in that area for touches this week. I think that pays dividends versus Javonte Williams against Minnesota and Brian Robinson in that stalemate against the New York Giants. So let's ride with Singletary, Chad. Appreciate the question. G-Baby was good. Trey McBride or Schultz this week. Love me some Trey McBride. I got Trey McBride coming in right now as the tight end 3 on the week, and I got Schultz as tight end 7. The matchup does really in favor Trey McBride. He's got the fifth best matchup on the RosterWatch.com matchup tool. You can find that over at RosterWatch.com if you become a pro member, or if you want to go check that out, you can see that across all positions. Schultz has the 20th matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. So we're going to go Trey McBride for ranking and matchup purposes. Appreciate the question, G-Baby, as always. We're going to do a little rapid fire here, and then we will jump onto the old Twitter and check out some of the inactives for this week officially on Twitter. Jesse Torres says pick 2, Godwin, Lockett, Cooper, and Thielen. I'm going to go Godwin, Thielen here, Jesse. I think Thielen bounces back with Frank Reich as the new play caller. Again, earlier this year was Frank Reich play calling. Great Thielen. Switch play calling. No Thielen. Back to Frank. Let's see Thielen this week. Bob Watson wants to know if he should play Curtis Samuel or Tutu Atwell. I think we have to watch and see if Curtis Samuel is active. He did have a little hiccup during the week in practice, so we'll wait and see kind of what happens there. But if he does play, I'm playing Curtis Samuel over Atwell. Otherwise, you got to play Atwell for that one. Great question here. CT22 wants to know if he should play Ty Chandler, Alexander Madison, or Jaden Reed. That's a good one. Let me check here really quick in the flex ranking. Let's see. I'm going to ride Jaden Reed. Big matchup this week against the number 4 matchup. I didn't realize it was number 4 matchup. Yeah, we're going to go Jaden Reed here. Like we said, Madison's going to be back this week. I love Ty Chandler. I think it's going to be like a direct split, and I don't think that exposes much upside to anybody besides Chandler. But Chandler, I know some people don't really want to play him this week, and it's hard to trust. The Vikings haven't been the most efficient rushing team from a rushing perspective or from scoring touchdowns with the running backs until Joshua Dobbs came to this team. The Broncos are playing a much better brand of football right now, and I think Jaden Reed has, of course, upside right now with how Christian Watson's been playing. So I'm going to go Jaden Reed here. Good question. G-Baby, need to drop 1 to activate A-Chain. He has Schultz, but he also has McBride, JSN, or Ford. I would drop Schultz. I know Schultz has had a couple good weeks, been pretty good, top 10 most of the season, but you have McBride. You have the dude. You have the donkey in McBride. You're playing him. You're not dropping JSN because if Lockett doesn't play today, JSN's a top 12 option. And then Ford, you just don't drop running backs in fantasy football, especially in season long. Great question there, dropping Schultz. Jesse Torres, pick 2. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Cooks, or I'm assuming that's Brandon Cooks or Mostert. Picking 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and ride Mostert. And golly, that's a tough one. Let's see, Cooks or Henry v. Barkley. Henry and Barkley got back to back. I'm going to go Henry and Mostert here. That's a tough one. I think Mostert's a slam dunk ski, but Cooks is in a tough matchup this week. I think it comes down to running backs and opportunity. I'm going to go Henry here. Great question, Jesse Torres. Best of luck. Oh, he says Cook, James Cook. I still think I'm going to ride Derrick Henry. Let's go Derrick Henry here. Henry and Mostert. Smash the like button, as Snowman says. Appreciate you guys. CT22 back at it. Ty Chandler just answered that one. I'm going to go Jaden Reed. G-Baby, A-Chain, Mostert, Tank Dell, pick 2. Oof. I think this is a rare situation. And again, we've seen it already when A-Chain is healthy. This is a rare backfield where you can and do want to play both guys. And I think the matchup is juicy enough. I'm going to play both dudes. Let's play A-Chain and Mostert today. Let's bet on Miami putting up 40 against the Las Vegas Raiders. I know it sounds weird. It's the NFL. Teams don't put up 40 every week. But let's bet on Miami putting up 40 and getting right. A-Chain and Mostert both find the end zone. They both find efficiency, and they both pay off. And even if one of them gets outscored by Dell, the reason you do this is, let's say Mostert goes for 30 and A-Chain goes for 20, and then Dell scores 22. He's in that same range. The reason you do this is because that there is an avenue where one of these two running backs goes for 40 and one of them goes for 10. So I think that the equals even out. And I think you want to play A-Chain and Mostert just because you don't want to be caught with your pants down playing the guy that scored 10 and not the guy that scored 40. Great question. E.V. Lewis, 1 point PPR, Murray or Fields. I think this is a very close one this week. I think Murray, of course, in this matchup against Houston is going to dominate, but I think Fields rushing is going to be extravagant. I think he's going to be running the ball a lot because I'm not sure he's going to be able to throw the ball much. But for those reasons, I still have Kyler Murray ahead because I love this matchup. The total is approaching 50, similar to what it is in Detroit, but I'm going to bet on Kyler Murray and his weaponry like Hollywood Brown, James Conner, and Trey McBride. Evelyn Aresa. I don't know. Sorry if I butchered that. Full PPR, bench Pollard for Mostert in flex. I'm starting Gibbs and Singletary. I would play Gibbs, Mostert, Pollard, and bench Singletary. I know I just talked about Singletary and loving Singletary, but this is a big week for Pollard against Carolina. The best matchup on the matchup tool. If it's quite literally now or never for Tony Pollard. I think this is the week Pollard goes off. So I would say play Pollard, Mostert, and Gibbs, and I would bench Devin Singletary in this matchup. Evelyn, best of luck this week. Appreciate you. Snowman, thank you. Appreciate the analysis. Yes, always, brother. Appreciate you. Sean Roberts, pick 2, Barkley, Hall, or Walker. Pick one, Debo, Mike Evans, Addison. So the wide receiver one's the easiest for me. I'm going to go Jordan Addison over Debo and Mike Evans. Pick two at the running back position, Barkley, Hall, or Henry. I'm going Hall, and I'm going Henry. No, sorry. I didn't see Walker there. We're going Hall and Walker. Sorry. Hall and Walker at running back. Your running backs are loaded. Congratulations on that. And then a wide receiver, I'm going to go Addison. Sean, appreciate you. All right, here. Sit one, A-Chain, Swift, or Javonte Williams. I think we're going to go ahead and bench Javonte Williams. I have DeAndre Swift as a number 10 option this week, as well as I've already talked about A-Chain. When A-Chain's healthy, he's top 12. I have him inside the top 12 as well this week. So we're going to go A-Chain and Swift, benching Javonte Williams. Anthony, that's the direction I'm going. Thank you very much. As the hair stands up, that's amazing. Charlie Emmert, half PPR, pick one, Deontay, Jalen Warren, or Jalen Reed. Jaden Reed. I'm going to go ahead and ride with let me check something quick. I love you're in a tough spot. That's a good question. This might be the question of the day. I'm going to go Jalen Warren here. Charlie Emmert. We're going to go Jalen Warren over Deontay and Jaden Reed and half PPR. Great question. Click that like and subscribe. Cody and the RosterWatch crew do such amazing jobs day after day, week after week, year after year. Stay tapped in all year long and show that appreciation. Matt Cassidy. That's my dog right there. Tua or Dak, Atron, Prescott. You got to roll with Tua. Dak's got a good matchup, but like I said, I think this is a Pollard game, and I'm not sure. We see varying weeks with Dak, right? He's been throwing the ball a lot to Lamb, but we could definitely see him pull back and only throw the ball 22 times, go for $170, one tuggy, and Pollard just runs the rock. So I'm going to roll with Tua this week. Big Meech, half PPR, pick one, Lockett, Sutton, Chandler, or Rice. Half PPR, pick one, Lockett, Sutton, Chandler, or Rice. If Lockett is active, I'm playing Lockett. The problem is let me check here. So Chandler's a night game. Rice plays on Monday, and Sutton plays on Sunday night. So you do get to wait because Seahawks play at 4:25. So if Lockett, this is an afternoon, all afternoon guys or night guys. If Lockett is active tonight, you're playing Lockett. If Lockett's not active, I'm playing Sutton. Big Meech, great question. Appreciate you. Charlie Eckert, same question. You go to Jalen Warren. Nuke says Kincaid or Kittle. I currently have Kittle in now, or should I flex one over Addison? Also have DJ Moore, wide receiver 2. Should I make any changes? Tight end still tough, especially with George Kittle. I love Kittle, but everybody is well aware of what the ups and downs are with George Kittle, where he can have a great game or he could have a shit game. And I think you just have to roll and bet on that. I have Kittle number 6 this week, Kincaid number 8. So I prefer Kittle, but I know Kincaid's going to get the targets where I never know that with George Kittle. So I'm just going to bet on the upside with Kittle this week, and I'm going to ride with you, Nuke. I think you're where you have it right now, leave it as is. Currently have Kittle in, keep him in. Eric's says start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex, half PPR. Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, Devonta Smith, or Swift. Pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. 2 wide receivers would be Devonta and Garrett Wilson. And the flex, I would go with Swift. Good question here, Eric. Appreciate you. Big Meech, pick 1, Howell, Kyler, or Fields. I'm going to go ahead and ride with Kyler here. Great question. I think Fields and Howell are both top 12 options, but Kyler is just a titch ahead of all these guys. I love the first word problems most of the yes, exactly. It's funny. Justin Jackson, Hunt or Chandler. I'm going Chandler. A-Chain's going to have a big game. Agreed 100%. Justin Jackson, Dotson, Gabe, or Reed. Pick 1 PPR. I'm going to go Gabe. I think Buffalo gets right. I think Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. Alex told me yesterday they were the most faded duo in DraftKings and DFS this weekend. Fuck that. I'm playing Allen and Diggs 100%. Also adding Gabe Davis there if you wish. Frenzy MS says 2 running back, 2 receiver, 1 flex. Williams, Ford, Singletary, Henry. At running back, we need 2 of those guys. So we're going to go Henry and Singletary. At 2 receivers, we're going to go Dell, Moore, Metcalf. We're going to go Dell and Metcalf. And the flex is between Moore, Javonte, and Ford. I'm going to go with DJ Moore. So we're going to play all the 3 wide receivers that you have on the options here. Then we're going to go Henry and Singletary at the running back position. Great question. Is Rico Dowdle a hold? Depends on what's available. If I can get something, of course, that has more upside, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know what that would be in your league. You know your league better than I. Dowdle's got a good matchup this week, but he's not going to play. So I would not hold a guy like that through the weekend unless I have an IR spot that I could throw him on and I can add somebody else. I always use that as roster fodder, and we'll grab somebody to watch, like a guy that is maybe behind somebody. For example, a Kenny Nwangwu in Minnesota. Madison's already banged up. Chandler's the guy. Madison's back, but what happens if Madison goes out again? Then he's out for 2 weeks, and it's Chandler and Nwangwu. Chandler rolls an ankle, and Nwangwu's the guy. Type of situations like that. Like I'm always trying to look and play chess 3 steps ahead. Whereas like Dowdle, we've seen him in this offense kind of pitter-patter all year. So guys like Kenny Nwangwu, guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones, situations. You just got to look around the league and look at situations like that. So that's kind of the angle I would take. Big Meech, Justin Jackson, Chandler or Henderson. Henderson, 1,000%. Bob Watson, PPR flex, DK, Najee, or Mike Evans. Thanks, brother. I'm going DK here. Dre says pick 3, half-point PPR. Kincaid, Musgrave, or Moore, or Charbonnet. Pick 3, half-point. I'm going Kincaid. I'm going Musgrave, and I'm going Charbonnet. Great question, as always. Isaac Marin says full PPR pick 2, Saquon, A-Chain, Singletary, or Aaron Jones. Saquon, A-Chain, Singletary, Aaron Jones. I'm going to go A-Chain and Saquon. I have Saquon ranked ahead of Singletary. I love Singletary, but I just not quite to that level. Chad Dumlau. Awesome. I got it. Fuck you. Nice pronunciation of my last name. Thank you. Ricky Morosky. That's another banger of a last name. Lockett or Amari Cooper. So Cooper plays in that early window. I got to play Cooper here against the Pittsburgh Steelers. G-Baby, Goff, or Fields. The problem, Ricky, is you can't get caught with your pants down. If Lockett's inactive and you're already got Cooper played, you don't want to be stuck playing some shit bagger like Brandon Powell or something. That's a big drop-off. I love Brandon Powell, but that's a big drop-off. Goff or Fields at the quarterback position. Big game this weekend here. I got these guys back-to-back. I got Fields ahead of Goff just because of the rushing. But again, Goff has the number 1 matchup on the quarterback matchup tool over at rosterwatch.com. Great question. Jaden Reed or Tyler Lockett. Jaden Reed plays in the early window. I have Love on that team as well. It's super flexive. That's a factor. I was going to say I prefer Reed here because I'm a little worried about Lockett. I think he's going to be inactive this week, and he plays in that 425 window. So if you don't have anything dependable behind these two guys, in case Lockett isn't active and you haven't played Jaden Reed, then you're kind of stuck. I would play Jaden Reed here. Beast Mode says Dell or Puka. I'm going to ride with Tank Dell. Big Meech, are you worried about Lockett's health, or is the new standard? I'm worried about it. I am. We'll see what happens this week. It's going to be a big tell because he didn't practice all week with this hamstring. We'll see really if he's active, and then if he is, what the hell it looks like. Because if he is active and he goes off, shit. That's my thoughts. Jesse Torres, Flex, Lockett, Cooper, Barkley, or James Cook. We're going to go ahead and we're going to more Lockett shit, man. More Lockett shit. You got to play Saquon and Cooper. Wait, it looks like you only get one. Flex, Lockett, Cooper, Barkley, or Cook. Okay. Yeah, you gotta play Barkley. TH, start 1, half PPR. Hubbard, Royce, Deonta with Khalil Herbert coming back. Hubbard with Sanders being healthy. Royce playing alongside of Darrell Henderson. I'm going to ride with Deonta. Royce scares me a little bit. I think Royce would be my prefer, but I think Royce scares me coming out of a bye. I have no idea what Sean McVay is going to do. He can do a lot of different things that I don't love. So I'm going to go Deonta here. Michael Y, Josh Allen or Kyler, asking for a friend, he says. Josh Allen I have his quarterback 11 this week. I do not love it. He has not historically been good against the Jets. So I'm going to go Kyler Murray. Let's go with it. Let's ride it. All right, we got a bevy of them right here. Oh, it's 11:40. I missed out on the Twitter inactives. Let me pull these up really quickly, and we'll see what's inactive and see what's popping for this 1 o'clock window. Take a drink of my pre-workout. All right. Giants. No Deion Jackson. No Evan Neal playing tackle again. Commanders. No Antonio Gibson. We already talked about that. He had a toe injury all week, did not practice. The Green Bay Packers will be playing without Jair Alexander, without Kyu Blue Kelly, the rookie cornerback who will be backing him up. Rudy Ford, a safety who's been playing quite a bit. He's also inactive, as well as Samori Toure, the wide receiver, number 83. Bears inactives today against the Detroit Lions. Velus Jones, a healthy scratch for a second straight week. No Nathan Peterman. No Ja'Tyre Carter on the offensive line. No Dominique Robinson, who's been growing in this defensive line over the last couple of weeks. An interesting one for the Dallas Cowboys with the running back room banged up, with Rico Dowdle banged up. No Deuce Vaughn. He's also inactive. Trey Lance is the emergency third quarterback, but is also labeled as inactive. Noah Igbenogany at the cornerback position. Inactives for the Jaguars today. Devon Hamilton is a healthy scratch on the defensive line. Very, very, very interesting. Zay Jones is officially active in this one, and no Tyson Campbell playing the opposite side of Darius Williams. Braxton Berrios for the Dolphins is inactive this week. Colton Miller for the Raiders on the offensive line is inactive. And as I said with Deuce Vaughn earlier being inactive, Rico Dowdle with his ankle injury is indeed active. The big question mark with the Los Angeles Chargers was the wide receiver position. Is Jalen Guyton active or inactive? The answer is he's inactive. So that means it's a Quentin Johnston dance party looming. Will Quentin Johnston get his 8 targets and go off? I don't know if he'll go off, but I think he's going to get his 8 targets. The rest of the Dolphins, no Jeff Wilson, no Robert Jones or Robert Hunt, no Durham Smythe at the tight end position. So you're going to go ahead and see the Dolphins dig deep down there at the tight end position as well. Like you remember, generally with no Durham Smythe, you would lean more towards the Braxton Berrioses of the world, but Braxton Berrios is out this week for the Miami Dolphins. So you're going to be looking at more River Craycraft anytime touchdowns, potentially some more Cedric Wilson opportunity. Again, Chase Claypool is also inactive for this game. The running or the tight ends behind Durham Smythe, Julian Hill, a rookie. So I'm going to be dabbling actually in this River Craycraft action because Robbie Chosen, despite being cut this week, was added back to the practice squad. So let's see what happens. Cedric Wilson, River Craycraft, Julian Hill, those will be the names you'll get to know for the Miami Dolphins today as well. Pat Freiermuth officially active. Keenan Allen had a question mark. He's officially active. The other inactives, Terrace Marshall for the Carolina Panthers is officially inactive. I'm not seeing anything else on here that I missed. Damian Pierce, of course, inactive. We talked about that, as well as Noah Brown for the Houston Texans. No Jimmy Ward at safety or Henry Te'o at linebacker for the Texans this week. And I'm not seeing anything else of consequence. Oh, actually, quarterback for the Titans, it's officially Malik Willis is inactive and Ryan Tannehill is active. Finally, Michael Wilson officially inactive for the Arizona Cardinals. That means Andre Basalia, who was activated last night, will be active for this game, and then more targets will be deferred to Trey McBride, will be pushed to Hollywood Brown. A little bit of Rondell Moore action with Michael Wilson officially inactive here in week number 11. Also with the Commanders, Alex Arma, who had a couple of carries in that backfield, is inactive. The one guy in this backfield that they did bring on was Derek Gore, who was given a couple of snaps last week. Look for Derek Gore. This running back field is going to be putrid in Washington today, but look for Derek Gore. Look for Chris Rodriguez to get some action next to the likes of Brian Robinson. Also, Michael Carter, the newly Arizona Cardinal, is inactive as well. I think that's the list today for the 1 p.m. window. Let's get back to the questions here and let's get out of here. Pick a defense: Houston, Minnesota, Seattle, Rams, or Tennessee. You got a big repertoire of abilities today there, Big Meech here. Minnesota, let's see, against Denver. Kind of like that one, I think, in favor of that. Seattle gets the Rams. I don't love that one. Rams against Seattle and Tennessee against Jacksonville. I think I'm going to roll with Minnesota against Denver. Big Meech, good question. Jay says Tank Dizzy McLaurin, Puka, start one. Go boys. Tank Dell is my guy here over McLaurin and Puka. Good question, Jay. Defo says bench one PPR, Adams, Jacobs, or Hall. Brutal is your option here. Brutal situation to be sitting in, because I think the one guy I'd want to sit here, his name is Breece Hall, but I don't really want to bench any of these three guys. Toughest matchup, pound for pound, does go to Adams. He does get Jalen Ramsey this week. And he has Aiden O'Connell throwing the football. I'm going to bench Adams. I'm going to play Jacobs and Hall. I'm going to bet that one, Defoe. I like this question. Good one. Big Meech, Rondale Moore or Romeo Dobbs? I haven't even had to finish the question. It's already Rondale Moore. Like I said, no Michael Wilson. Targets are going to continue to flow to Hollywood, Rondale, McBride, and even James Conner out of the backfield. Half point. Get some carries out of there for Rondale. We love that. Kevin Smith, good morning. Bench one, Evans, Waddle, or Dell. I'm going to go ahead and bench Mike Evans this week. It's tough to do at this certain stage, but I'm going to go ahead and bench Mike Evans. Tough matchup. I think a lot goes to Godwin. I think you get a little Cade Otton, a little Rashad White. They're going to get dusted in this game, and he's going to be facing Charvarius Ward. Frenzy, thank you. Thank you. Charlie, appreciate you, brother, doing the Lord's work today. PPR, pick one, running back Aaron Jones or Montgomery. Revenge game against the Bears, yep. And pick two wide receivers, Lockett, Devonta Smith, or Debo. Running back, you're going Montgomery. You said it, the revenge game against the Bears. And I think Montgomery on the surface, even being healthy, the carries are going to continue to shift back towards Montgomery, as everybody knows. This duo is sick in Detroit, so I like it. Pick two, a wide receiver, Lockett, Smith, or Debo. Debo plays at 4:05, Lockett plays at 4:25, and Smith plays on Monday night. So you have the benefit of waiting if Lockett is active or inactive. If Lockett is active, I think I'm going to roll Lockett and Debo. If Lockett's inactive, I'm going to go Devonta and Debo. Great question, Charlie. Appreciate you. Jay says Montgomery or D-Hop at the flex position. We're going to go ahead and roll with Montgomery. Will Levis is not playing at the top tier right now because his offensive line is getting him shellacked, and even when he's not getting shellacked, he's not making the right read sometimes. So it's not the prettiest of situations right now in Tennessee for anybody. Matt says, I have Mostert and A-Chain. Should I start both? I got Singletary on the bench, 100%. Somebody asked this question about 20 minutes ago, and this is the exact thing I told them, was that more than likely these guys score similar, whether it's 30 and 20, 25 and 20, whichever one goes off. But in the event that one of them scores 40, one of them scores 10, even if Singletary scores 20 and outscores one of them, you'd rather have the 40 and the 10 both starting than having the 10 and the 25 starting, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go with both Mostert and A-Chain. Kyle Gregory, one from each pairing, PPR. Please. Waddle or Ayuk? I'm going to go Waddle. Ford or Cook? I'm going to go Cook. Kyle Gregory, appreciate you asking the question. Ray Gamer, welcome back, brother. Hey, fam. Should I play Godwin versus the Niners, Cooks against the Panthers, or JSN against the Rams in standard scoring? Let's see here. I'm going to roll with my first gut instinct, which was Chris Godwin. I think this is one of three, right? You get one of three? Yeah, Godwin's going to be the option here. And then Browns defense or Lions defense. Browns against Steelers, Lions against the Bears. Both are at home. I'm going to go Browns defense. They're a gauntlet. They have been all year. Appreciate the question. Let's see here. Let's get through. We got a good list here. We're going to keep on going, baby. Hey, if the questions are there, I'm here. So we're going to keep on going through here. It's extreme. Who should I start at PPR Flex? Nico, Amari Cooper, Javonte, or Ty Chandler this week. We're going to go ahead and ride with Nico Collins, baby. We saw what Noah Brown did last week. No Noah Brown in the lineup this week. We're rolling with Nico Collins. Matt, Puka, Kirk, or Metcalf at Flex. You're rolling with Christian Kirk this week. Also, I just want to remind you guys, you can head on over to patreon.com/executives today. You can go on over there anytime, actually, and you can tap in. You can tune in to your boys, Matty Kiwum and Cody Carpentier, yours truly, patreon.com/executives. Undercovered Ops was up earlier this week. The best bets We're 90, 51, and 1 on the season, 63% on the season. We are 68% last week. We're hitting at an amazing clip. You also have the Cuck score, which is up, and it's the corners under constant chaos. That's the score. It's wide receivers that are going to put these guys in tizzies, and it makes sense that week 11, number 1 is Tank Dizzy. Set it an all-time score. Tank Dell is this week. He's a great matchup. Hunter Renfrow comes in number 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown number 3. Keenan Allen, Marquise Brown, Quentin Johnston cracks the top 10. Cortland Sutton and Jalen Waddle. That's the top 10 of the Cuck score this week, as well as my personal rankings, our do or die rest of season matchups, the weekly wire, which is fab guidance, et cetera, patreon.com/executives. More and more stuff coming out for the 2024 draft as the weeks go on, as well as our dynasty rankings are over there as well. So appreciate you guys all tapping in here. Gooner Boy, JSN, or Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice plays on Monday. JSN plays at 425. If Lockett is a no-go, I'm going JSN 100%. If Lockett is active, I'm going to go Rice. That's exactly the thing. If Lockett's ruled out, that's the thing. So we'll wait and see if Lockett's in or out by that time. Is JSN an auto start if Lockett is out? 100% auto, top 15 auto. Ricky Morosky, half PPR, Brian Robinson or Kincaid in the flex. Half PPR, you have to go B-Rob. PPR, I'd lean more Kincaid, but half PPR, I have to go B-Rob. Michael Y., what pre-workout do you take and what kind of lifting program are you doing? Right now, I'm not on a heavy lifting program because I'm dealing with a back injury, but your boy's getting back. I'm starting to feel a little bit healthier. So hopefully after Thanksgiving or after Christmas, I'm going to get back onto my workout program. But generally, it's a 5x5 base program for squat, bench, and dead. Dead's 2x5, bench and squats 5x5s. The pre-workout is from prbreaker.com. You can use that promo code Cody to get 10% off. So you can go tap in over there. This is a mimosa-flavored pre-workout there. So go check that out as well. Michael Y. saying Michael Wilson is hot. Yes, sir. JB. You said you like Jacobs at RB5 over Saquon. What about Singletary? No, that's the thing is I do love Jacobs. Singletary, however, I just have him a little bit further down. The thing with what's the word? The thing with Barkley is just him. It's just Barkley, right? The matchup is great for Singletary. I got Singletary running back 16 this week, and I have Barkley running back 12. So they're very, 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 very close. And the reason I ride with Barkley is just because of his athleticism, abilities, lack of talent around him. The matchup isn't bad. It's not great. It is what it is. So worried Miami game gets out of hand that Jacobs gets abandoned. I don't think he gets abandoned. I think if it does get out of hand, he's going to get targeted. I think you can trust that. All right, we got some more here. Ricky Morosky. Skip my last question, LOL. Jacoby or Kincaid? What? Oh, did you say it wrong or something? I thought I answered it. Robinson. Okay, so here we go. So skip my last question. Jacoby or Kincaid? I'm going to go Kincaid there. Great question, Morosky. Yeah, Kincaid's going to get targeted heavily. Jacoby with Aiden O'Connell has not been pretty at all this week, or this month. Bama be cranking. Bama be cranking. Cranking these L's against. I'm just kidding. Cranking these L's against Texas. You heard. I'm just kidding. Where am I? Was good, brother. Flex PPR, or sorry, flex standard DK or A-Chain. Got to roll with your boy Devon A-Chain 100% today. Love A-Chain. He's active. We're active. We're playing him 1,000% hands down. Nicholas Hartley, bench 1. DK, Addison, Hollywood, A-Chain, Singletary. Oh, shit. All right, so you get the afternoon window. Houston plays at 1 o'clock. Shit. The rankings would say to bench Singletary. So I'll put that at you. On first thought, I want to bench DK. Rankings say to bench Singletary. I lean towards Lockett being minimalized in this game, which is going to be more targets to DK. What does he do with that? We'll see. He's had some big games against the Rams. I would say bench Singletary. I don't want to do it, but I'd say to bench him. Good lineup, though. Good job. Best of luck, Nicholas Hartley. TD, trade Mostert for Laporta? Question mark. What's your team look like? What do you have? What do you have at tight end right now? What do you have at running back? I don't want to give away Mostert if I know Mostert's going to be a top 20 option rest of season. Laporta is going to be top 5 rest of season, but what else do I have at tight end? Is it Schultz? Is it some donkey? Like, I don't know what you got. You got to let me know, brother. Tank Dell or Hopkins for flex. I'm going Tank Dizzy 1000% here. Jordan Addison or Devonta Smith or Tank Dell start 2. I'm starting Addison and Tank Dell today. Best of luck. Low keys, Laporta or McBride. Again, a fantastic question. Also a fantastic situation to be seated in with McBride and Laporta. I got Laporta as the tight end 4 this week, and I got McBride as a tight end 3. So I like McBride. The matchup faces both these guys as top 7 options. I'm going to go with McBride for targets. That's kind of the angle I'm taking here. Low keys with another one, Tank or Garrett Wilson. I'm going to roll with Tank. Oh, nice. I've done 5x5 before. I like it. 100%, dude. It's a gauntlet. It's grueling for squats especially. 5x5 is the base for squats. 5x3s and 5x5s alternate for bench, and then the deadlifts 2x5. I use Legion Athletics pre-workout, and I love it. I've never had that. I've had the Alani Mimosa. That's what I've been having lately. Alani Mimosa, PR Breaker Grape. When they get cotton candy back, that's my favorite. And I've had just a fuck ton of energy drinks, but I'm trying to limit those out. Mike Duke, Zay Jones, McKinnon, or Freiermuth. Zay is active. McKinnon is getting his role. Freiermuth is back active. Zay is active. I'm playing Zay. Charlie Emmert, pick one. Wide receiver 1 flex. Aaron Jones, Debo, Lockett, Devonta Smith, or Jerome Ford. Pick 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. I'm going to go Debo and Devonta Smith. Best of luck, Charlie. Appreciate you. Can you post a link to your pre-workout if you can? What was that name again? PR. So PR as in pro and ranking. PR Breaker. PRBreaker.com. PRBreaker.com. Michael Y. Appreciate you. And use the promo code Cody when you check out, and they'll hook you up. Matt Z, Goff, Fields, or Tua? I like Goff and Fields today. Tua is the number 3 option, though. So we have to roll with Tua. The matchup's too creamy with Las Vegas. Too much ability for him to go for 4 or 5 tuggies. Laporta or Kincaid, similar to Laporta and McBride. Laporta and Kincaid, both great options this week. I'm going to roll with Laporta, though. The matchup's a little bit better. They've got a little bit more trust in Laporta. Andrew G says Foreman, Hendo, or Rico Dowdle. I'm going to go Hendo for the Rams, 100% in this one. Appreciate the question. CB, C-E-B-B-I, CB. A-Chain or Addison for flex. Thank you. If you're playing for upside, if you're already behind, if you're projected to lose by 20, I'm playing A-Chain. If you are comfortable and you feel good about yourself, if you're projected to win or be within 5 points, I'm playing Addison. I have McBride, TD says. Let's go back to TD's question. He says, trade Mostert for Laporta. I have McBride. Well, if you have McBride, then I don't want to trade. If I have McBride, I don't want Laporta. I have McBride. He also has Montgomery, Kamara, and JT for running back. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're trading away Mostert for Laporta, I don't want any part of that. I want Mostert if I'm you. Great question there. Lucius Varinas, 44. Start Musgrave or Logan Thomas? Let's see here. Literally back-to-back. Musgrave with the number 4 matchup this week. Logan Thomas with the number 19 matchup this week. The game total is a 7-point differentiator between Green Bay and Los Angeles. I think Musgrave is going to continue to get targeted. Logan Thomas is too up and down for me. I like Musgrave as the number 9 option this week ahead of Logan Thomas. Mike Duke, pick 2 in a standard. Walker, Howard, or Hall? I'm going Walker and Pollard. Great question. Pollard's got his game today. Devin Birch, Quentin Johnston, Rondell Moore, or Darnell Mooney? Darnell Mooney's probably the first axe I'm taking here. Rondell, I think the opportunities are going to be more, but Quentin Johnston's in the situation. We started to see him get the targets. He ran 35 routes each of the last 2 weeks. No Jalen Guyton today. No Palmer. No Mike Williams. No Gerald Everett. If this doesn't happen today against the Green Bay Packers with no Jair Alexander, it will never fucking happen for Quentin Johnston. Today's the day, Devin Burch. Put Quentin Johnston in the lineup. I'm doing it. I'm playing him over Jerry Jeudy. It's not saying much, but I'm doing it. And I haven't been the biggest Johnston fan. So I'm Cody Carpentier. You can find me on Twitter at Cody Carpentier, patreon.com/executives to tap in and chat with your boy over there on Discord and on Patreon. We got a bunch of shit cooking. RosterWatch.com. Become a pro or premium member. Pro members, $9.99 a month for eternity. Come tap in. We got lots and lots and lots of shit cooking. Please click that like button. Click subscribe. And if you got any more questions between now and then, go to RosterWatch.com. Drop your questions in any of the articles, and we will get to it. We'll be back tomorrow for top 10 thoughts about the afternoon, Tuesday for the waiver wire show. And as always, one last question. We get to all of them. The Smitty says Herbert, Hunt, or Chandler. Pick one. Khalil Herbert's healthy. That's the answer. Roll with Khalil Herbert. I love Ty Chandler, but when they tell you he's healthy, he's healthy.